and we are always charged and enthused to do more. So as we said, why not speak about what we are doing? Because in the last decade, since the insights into the topic what we have placed today, the gap between knowing and doing. Any clinician, any provider you ask, they in theory know everything, but actually are they implementing it in practice? That is the gap that we want to bridge through a mechanism called skill transfer, because skill is all about doing. Even before Prime Minister Modi ji brought in the word skill transfer and the skill development ministry after 2014, it was in the year 2003, way back 2003, when the Bengaluru OBGYN Society had the AICOG. And Dr. Harshit Sanghvi from Japaigo, he said, Hema, you call all the young postgraduates. We are doing a skill transfer workshop. And that was the first time I heard the word called skill transfer. And it stuck to me that the way the whole skill transfer workshop was conducted, at the end of it, the set of postgraduates pan-India who were there, a small group, but each one of them knew the micro details, and they had the competence and an extremely sense of worthiness and confidence. Yes, we can go out tomorrow and implement this in practice. So that is where I recognize the strength of the skill. And from then onwards, the vision to Skill India. This was a decade ago when we announced that we want to really do something about empowering the frontline healthcare providers to do the best they can, because they're such rich human resource, but not fully utilized and exploited. So the vision to Skill India, we believe that strength of our achievements is rooted in the depth of our passion, and there's no dearth for passion in the whole group which is appearing on the screen. Everybody all the time wants to keep doing something. So with FIGO at the international level, Jaideep and myself put up this masterclass series on understanding the less understood. And then again, it came back to my mind that understanding the less understood, have we understood what is the real gap? The simple things which people need to know, they need to do on a daily basis, are they actually executing it? So on a different level, at the international level too, we want to put up some skill transfer workshops. But to start with, even when we did the whole 6-module series on understanding the less understood, lot of issues on the gaps that exist, and the best we can do was again brought forth, right, striking at our face that we should be doing better and we should be doing more. So the ideas, even as a president, I had declared my theme as innovation to implementation. You sit in the room, 1,000 ideas will spring up, but who is to bell the cat? Who is to take this movement forward? Who is actually going to do this on the ground and make sure that it translates into other people who are now, competent to do it? So the idea is to actually use the gap in the skill which exists rampantly in the health sector needs to be built. Today, if you open the government website of Skill India, you will see, if you put the search on electrical, plumbing, beauty, hospitality, you will see several hundreds of courses listed there. But you put the search on skill sector, health, and you will find only 3 courses: health sanitation, inspector or whatever, and 1 lab technician and 1 homemade. Only 3 courses and only 5 or 6 centers offering this. And not much has been explored because everybody thinks they know it all. So the artist, which is, very passionate about training and actually documenting the implementation research, has also established a skill academy to collaborate to Skill India. Our biggest master series was the Manyata training. How do we standardize the maternal care? It's not about hi-fi skilling. It is at the grassroots. What is it that you can do right and at the right time, so that the further complications are avoided. Believe me that in many of the private segments, when the scoring was done, managing the complications, oh, scores are excellent. Because somebody goofs up, lands the patient into complication, and then you're there in the picture trying to manage and becoming a hero of saving lives. But why did the complication happen in the first place? That is where the gaps need to be plugged, and right across the frontline healthcare providers, staffs, the Manyata course actually became very popular because we did not insist on any change in infrastructure. We did not insist on any change in the human resource. As is, where is, whoever is there, you are there for many years and you need to get better. So this was what was the start of a whole movement around the quality care. And you would see in the first few pictures there, the posterior view of Dr. Hiremat, our patron, who has come for this master training class, and several others. This was a Kasturi also, you can see with the blue dupatta there, and several others from all across Karnataka who came into Divakar's hospital, and we did the skill demonstrations with the Helping Mother Survive project we had and the Manyata training that we were giving, because at that point in time, it was on-site training with the Mama Natale, which is a simulator. We just, demonstrated many of the skilled procedures, but you would see way beyond that to digitalize and transform the future of women's healthcare by reaching the unreached, as Dr. Gupte would call it, every nook and corner through the digital platform. And many wonder how the skills can be transferred. You need hand holding, you need to be, physically present there. But no, we said that that is a task which is daunting because the country is so big and so vast, and the experts who can deliver the skill transfer cannot go and spend so many hours in travel, and the moment you turn your back, they forget what you taught them, and then again you need to go back, and that was a complete no-no. So we said, let us try it out, and if the skill transfer through digital platform works, the proof is in them demonstrating the skills and scoring 85 on 100. If that can happen to a vast majority of the frontline healthcare providers, then we have done well. And indeed, it did happen, because just you see the gap, the scale to which we need to grow. We are far away from there. We all need to join hands to move. What is the quantity that we require? In the marketplace, there are 130 million human resources, because every single year, some 28 million 10 standard, 12 standard, pass, fail, drop out, unemployed, all are floating in the market. Okay. So 1 million healthcare providers need to be trained, because we boast of 30 million deliveries, one of the largest in the world. For 30 million deliveries, okay, guys, you need at least 1 million trained providers, and we don't have them. That is very, very clear. But the quality of training is also important, because we recognized very soon in the Manyata initiative that we are speaking in English and nobody's understanding anything. Okay. And if we are speaking in Hindi, as in the UP batch, and you take the same to Karnataka, again, gap in the language. So this is a diverse country with many languages. So we had to create master trainers who could speak the local language. The batches needed to be small, and skill simulations had to be done to make sure that the quality training is done. Government, of course, does many programs, 3-day training program. They'll come from all over the district. They'll have their chai pani, and then, a lot of time is then wasted, and some are paying attention, some are not paying attention. By the time the third day comes, and then they go back, and the ones who are deputed for these courses are the most useless ones, because they can be spared for such a course. Others in the center are very important. They don't let them go. So the worst of the ones, so they also don't carry anything back. So we were studying the barriers and the gaps and the challenges, why what is traditional is not working. And we hit upon this formula that access is very, very good and easy with digital platform. And you know what? The people in the metros, they think no end of themselves, and they think the people in the second tier, third tier cities and the village folk and the frontline healthcare workers, they don't connect with the digital platform or they're not savvy, but it's entirely the reverse. It's just the mindset. Even the ASHA workers with their tabs and the staff nurses with the smartphones, and now with the new bid for the 5G connectivity, everywhere, every nook and corner, we have never found a barrier in the connectivity. We have only found a barrier in the language and communications, which we have we have overcome. Affordability. Because we're using the learning management system, there's no travel cost, and group and individual training, there's a lot of difference. And though we put as $100, it's 1/10 of the cost, really, because it is a whole cluster of 10 hospitals which come on the screen. So we are actually training 50 people at one go in the same 90 minutes, and it's a very engaging platform. We've now tied up with the Health Sector Skill Council, because having recognized that these kind of courses are not there in the skill department pertaining to the healthcare vertical, we really pushed hard to make sure that we get in a cadre called Assistant to Maternal and Newborn Care. What is the qualification or eligibility of the assistant? Again, she can be 8, 10, 12 standard pass, working in a nursing home for more than 3 years, or if she's a new recruitee, she has to work at least for 3 months to practice the skills, etc. They're there anyway, they're working anyway, but they don't have a assessment and a certificate. So this was what was the insight that we gave the Health Sector Skill Council. Rangila madam, you need to mute. So it brought to our notice that both in the public and private sector, there's a dearth for the quality training. So the collaboration for capacity building for assistant to maternal and newborn care started in a big way to make childbirth safer, whether in private or in public, in the entire country. The 16 clinical standards defined by FOGSI and the 10 facility standards. Lakshya has 131 facility standards. We said, no, small nursing homes, we cannot demand. The basic minimum 10, which they need to do, which is not negotiable, let's incorporate that and do. So we are spearheading and moving. As of now, we are working in 23 states. And the first few states beyond Maharashtra and Jharkhand and UP were trained by our group, because the donor support was not there. But it was called a FOGSI program. So we had to cater to the demand of all FOGSians right across the country. And we were challenged to perform as best as we can. So in the first phase itself, more than 4 lakh mothers and infants we reached, and the best practices were ensured, the services improved, the better and safer care, and the rights to the mother of what we got was also marching towards improving the quality of maternal care. You would see this is a common scenario in all our training programs, with many, many, many centers certified with this Manyata. Just the other day, Preeti and team were here, brought in by Vidya Tobri and Rajeshri, to expand the Vistrut program, which caters to anemia and GDM. And Dr. Hiremat, the patron, was asking, why don't we include the hypertensive disorders as well? Well, the Manyata training is comprehensive, right from antenatal care, intrapartum and postpartum, right across. There is a continuum. All the modules are there. The basic minimum they have to know for preventive care and early recognition and alerting and managing the emergencies are all in place. So all the centers, Durga Das, Bharti are approved, sitting here with the staff having improved their quality after the accreditation, and so also many others, including 14 major medical colleges, including CMC Ludhiana, Basveshwara Medical College at Chitradurga, and the SDM Medical College, and the KLE satellite branch, etc. All of them have been under our fold. It builds the confident and competent teams. So where have we reached? 612 private hospitals trained by us, including the 14 medical colleges, and the numbers that we have trained, of course, 1 million is the target. We have a long way to go, and I'm sure with all of you, we will reach there. But as of now, our score is around 6,400 frontline healthcare providers whom we have trained, who are all very, very proud of what they know compared to what they knew before. Rashri, can you see my slide? Yeah. Okay. So the benefits of a Manyata certified provider: it builds confident and capable teams, ensures quality improvement, ensures competitive advantage. The network of all these Manyata centers, we just get them together and re-engage them with whatever better and whatever new we can teach them. So this is the head of that institute standing very proudly with the Manyata certificate with the staff, and the pride on their faces is something that is very, very satisfactory. Now coming back to our own state, Karnataka. You'll all agree Karnataka can do much better, and it has to do much better, because in the southern states, we are ranking the last, but we are not going to be saying forever and forever that we are the last on the list, because we are soon going to improve, not only with this team, but from many more newer teams to come in Karnataka. And with passionate workers, I think we should be doing better. So the poor quality of essential health services, there was a study by George et al. In 2007 that unsupported health workers, haphazard referral systems, distorted accountability mechanisms. Everybody is blaming somebody else, even for maternal death reviews, which I would go. The team would wait for me to come, because the doctors knew that our input would be very reassuring to tell the IAS officer there that they have these challenges, they have these limitations. This is the best they could do. So just don't blame them for nothing. So the study goes on to recommend that fixing the quality of care and the problems, it is very, very important. Otherwise, any infrastructure you put, it's a waste of your resource. That was very, very clear from the study. And lack of adequate human resources, substantial shortages in all cadres of staff. The specialists, now we cannot multiply the specialists, but we have to shift the task to the frontline healthcare providers. EMOC program, where I was involved again with Dr. Sanghvi about 30 years back, we just left it halfway because the program did not escalate to the extent that we expected in the government settings, but the shock was in the private settings. The first time we got an opportunity, and I took it up with ease in my mind, thinking, oh, private settings are all sorted, they must be already doing well. What is there to just refresh the training with the staff, and we should get going with this private. But the difficulties we faced, the baseline scores of 18, 20 on 100 that they had, it was a real shock that private settings, which are charging quite a bit and already reputed and in existence for more than 2 decades, are falling short of so many little things. So that was quite an eye-opener, and we knew that we had job on hand. So Manyata certified hospitals, as of now, more than 2,000 hospitals. But when the staff takes the training course and they appear as a group for the exam, because it's all about team training, the nursing home gets certified. But what about these individual staff nurses who have paid so much attention in the classes, who have really made a good attempt to learn the skills? So the teams of nurses trained and assessed, the hospital getting certified, but the individual nurses, again, they were not happy that they did not get their individual certificate. So again, the first pilot batch, I'm proud to say that Karnataka leaders were very willing to have this training for their individual staff nurses, and each one of them were coached for the online theory exams as well. And they didn't need the local language for that much English they could read, and the multiple choice questions. Here again, when they appeared for these, 70 on 100 was the passing mark eligibility for them to step up to the skill testing. All those who got 70 on 100 and above were individually tested for a set of 10 skills. And if they again performed to the level of 70 on 100, they got a certificate called Assistant for Maternal and Newborn Care from the Health Sector Skill Council from the Central Ministry. What are the great skills that we are teaching? Start small, start what is most important, because a small thorn in your feet or a small dust particle in your eye can really hurt. These small issues, if they're not plugged. Even yesterday, day before yesterday, there was a discussion about what to talk about hypertension. The staff cannot even take the blood pressure properly. Okay, that is a reality. Okay, so taking the blood pressure properly, plotting the partogram, hand washing, how to glove, how to do a control cord traction, how to give a bimanual compression, PSSR, that is how to resuscitate a neonate by position, simulation, suction, and repositioning, how to use that one golden minute to their advantage to make babies survive. The most important thing, initiating breastfeed within the first hour, because the FIGO position statement on breastfeeding said that 40% is the score in the South Asian countries. 60% they don't initiate breastfeeding early. It is such a low-hanging fruit. It's just in telling the mothers and the family to do the needful for starting the breastfeed. They may have many misconceptions. They may think, oh, she's not eaten well, and therefore we can start after 24 hours, or she just had a C-section, she's on the drip, so why to give the breastfeeding, etc., etc. So just in order that we tell them, the communication skills are improved, and the 100% of the babies in our Manyata centers are breastfed within the first 1 hour. So all these skills put together make up the 16 standards. Antenatal care, the most default was a single step test for diabetes. Okay, every center answered it wrong, and today 100% of the centers have got it right in their head and in their execution. Intrapartum care involved a lot more, because again, the partogram plotting, the conduct of normal delivery, the care of the newborn, management of complications, active management of third stage, all of it is there in the intrapartum care. And the postpartum, most important, nobody is let out without immunization and contraception and breastfeeding advice. And the Robson's criteria for C-section, small places like Athani, Gadag, interiors, they're all nicely writing the Robson's classification. We have a lot of data already, and we are soon going to present it to the government. So what were the kind of scores in out of 100 in the paramedics who took up the skill test? You would see that it's 100% pass. Most of them, except one who's got 73 and other who's got 75, most of them are 85 and above, 90 and above. Many have got 100% also, and they've really performed well. In contrast to this, we did a pilot testing with the postgraduate students from 2 major medical colleges in Karnataka. 30% of them failed. Out of 20, a batch of 20 students, 6 of them failed. That was the score. Why? Because they think they know too much, and they're all confused at some point in time. And to unlearn and relearn may have been more difficult for them. Whereas the staff was a clean slate. They listened, they followed, and A to Z, they really performed well. So that was a great lesson. The reason why we started coaching the postgraduates was, many times we talk about in-service training. When they're post-graduating, why don't we teach them the right things? And why do we have to go back again and teach them? So with that idea, so I think for Kasoga also, Rajashri and Vidya, whenever you put a postgraduate program, put a skill demonstration workshop alongside. At the end of every day, 4 to 6 in the evening, this was happening in the course program for 3 years at the Foxy level. 4 to 6 every day, they have to just demonstrate the skills with Pamaritale, and it is very, active and engaging. So it's not tiring. It's very exciting with different teams. It's like a game. Different teams perform, and the best performers, of course, get their accolades in place. So this would be a very useful addition for them to precisely know the skills. And at the end of it, the attitude and work culture changes. They're always ready to do their best. And this is the kind of certificate we award. They not only upskill themselves, but the sense of self-worth is there because they were just hanging around without any recognition and called illiterate or not qualified, but today they proudly possess the certificate. And the first batch of Karnataka, you would see here, this is Dr. Sushil Jatana, who is the president of AHPI. It is Association of Healthcare Providers of India. We said Association of Healthcare provides skilled healthcare. What's the use of just providing healthcare to workers? So they joined hands and they did this. And the one who's standing to my right is Dr. Atul Mohan Kochar, who is the CEO of NABH. Now, entry-level NABH, whichever center wants to take up, if your center has the staff nurses having this certificate, they're taken as eligible human resource. You don't have to have a BSc nursing or anything. So that became a huge advantage with the NABH tie-up. And to the left of the staff, whoever is standing, this is, of course, besides Dr. Divakar, is Dr. Alex Thomas, who is the India chair of the AHPI, and he also heads the Karnataka HSSC, which is now under Devi Shetty's umbrella. And the last one to the extreme right is Mr. Ashish Jain, who is the CEO of the Health Sector Skill Council. So all the important people, we brought it to light with the testimonials of all these staffs. Durga sent his staff from Tumkur, and then people came from Hubli, Dharwad, Mandya, everywhere to collect their certificates. And it was really, really proud moments for them. And you can see the joy and the confidence on there that, when they got their best performer medals all the way down. And in addition to this, we train the ASHA workers. We've got another course. Can somebody mute? So we have trained batches of ASHA workers as well. This was because following the television program with Amitabh Bachchan, we said, no, we are pledging to empower our ASHAs. And then once we've taken this decision, we have to do it. But the ASHAs were so clever, so delightful to teach them. We've got the Anemia Mukta Bharat course certified from HSSC. They have to only appear for the theory exam. It's a 3-module course. We've also skilled them in Poshan Yukta Bharat. And we are also skilling them on building contraceptive choices, because there were a few gaps in the ASHAs. As I have always been telling, Anemia Mukta Bharat is test, treat and talk, T3. They thought it was thyroid and they didn't know the importance of getting the pregnant women anemia free. Now, each and every one of those ASHAs whom you see are reporting to us all the time. Not a single patient under their supervision is having a HB less than 10.5. 11, yeah, many are having, but at least 10.5. It's gone into their head. They explain to them correctly why it's important, the deworming also taken care of, etc., etc. Contraceptive choices, they said, yes, when they're having their menstrual cycle, they can have, sexual activity because they will not conceive, but after that, they must not indulge in. This is the kind of understanding that they had. A lot has been, transformed with the ASHA worker training, which we are also expanding, and we are calling them Swasthya Sakhis. When we train the community health workers who are not on the ASHA cadre, but they are going to be called the Swasthya Sakhis, and they're going to possess the same certificate from the Health Sector Skill Council. Here, I'm proud to present to you my champions in this endeavor, Dr. Vidya Tobi, the president herself, the immediate ex-honorary secretary of Kasoga, Dr. Bharti Rajshekar, who is now the president-elect. So the journey continues. Dr. Jyoti GS from Ramaya, who's been one of the greatest champions, and the previous Safe Motherhood Committee Chairman, Sonia, who also came for this event in Bangalore. We've published the reports of the importance of strengthening the quality of care for safe delivery through the capacity building of frontline healthcare providers. This is a research article published in the Case Reports International Journal as recently as end of January. And we analyzed the data from 4 different states. Small step, but big difference that it made. We studied the situation in Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, and Maharashtra to give it a all zonal mix in the country. And the most important things, GDM testing, anemia check, respectful maternity care on one hand, complication management of PPH with the prevention by active management of 3rd stage of labor. Did they know the dose of magnesium sulfate? Every single patient is covered with this whether the boss is present or not, ahead of the complication happening, they detect it early and how they monitor the progress of labor with a partogram. So 4 major questions which we analyzed were whether they were aware that glucose test in pregnancy has to be done for all women, irrespective of the status of fasting, because this is the maximum wrong answers that we had got. Active management of third stage of labor, they have to do it within a minute, but most of them were not aware of it. They thought diazepam is as good as magnesium sulfate because they were apprehensive of giving the magnesium sulfate. They thought it was toxic. They thought the dosage was too complicated, etc. And partogram was they never understood the importance and they didn't want to do it also. This was the pre-training. But post-training, you would see in Bihar, the single step test before the training, 16.7%. After this training, it increased to 89.4%. Each and every staff could spell out, and they did not spare a single woman almost. They did this test properly for everybody, and it made a huge difference. Tamil Nadu, the state from where this test originated, even there, the initial score was only 60, but it turned to 100% after the training. In Maharashtra, the understanding that diazepam was not the first choice. It was in 37% before the training, which scaled up to 88.5%. So huge leaps, small step, but a big impact. The magnesium sulfate, really, it is reported in many countries, in the low middle income countries, that it is being underutilized. It's not widely adopted in practice because the competence and confidence is not there. Somehow they want to wash their hands off. They don't want to indulge in giving the magnesium sulfate dosage because there are some gaps there. Now, this set of staff, in their dreams also, they will tell you the correct dosage and they will give it also at the right time. That's for sure. And performance of active management of third stage of labor. You would see right across Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Maharashtra, the incidents doubled. That means every case, everywhere, every time, they knew that active management. And OCM is the code, and they all like parrots, they will tell and they'll do also. O for oxytocin, which we will bring from the fridge. C for control contraction, and they'll demonstrate the manner in which it has to be done. M for uterine massage, all the time they can do. Call for help if they recognize that there is more bleeding. This is like guaranteed in these staff which are equipped with the certification and training. Plotting of the partogram, it reached 100% in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is one of our best performers, by the way, because they're all the head in that each small hospital, like Rajapalyam and some godforsaken places right in the interior, Tirunelveli, this, that, everybody, uniformly pays so much attention that they're so proud that they have improved. Even this active management of third stage of labor has caused so much improvement in the maternal outcomes and saving many lives. So overall, if you see the research results, all the 4 standards in all the 4 states right across have really scaled up by leaps and bounds, that is for sure. So Manyata training really has been a game changer in terms of improving the skills, irrespective of the states and the geographical regions. Again, now I said when Tamil Nadu is the best performer, this is a message to our leaders here. Just like Kasoga, there is the TNFOG, Tamil Nadu State Chapter, where it's gone into their head that every single private center should take up this training, and they have to saturate because they're already seeing a very significant improvement in the outcomes. So the leading in the south is 213 centers, and every month we train about minimum of 15 to maximum of 20 centers in a cluster every single month in the last 4 months. So they're rapidly scaling up. Out of this, each of the centers, 1 or 2 nurses want to take up the individual exams. Again, you will see here such brilliant scores in these. This is the latest batch which is going to be given their certificates at the Foxy event tomorrow. They have 100. You will see so many of them. 100% performance. That means you ask them anything on these 16 standards, and without batting an eyelid, they will tell you the answers even before your questions is completed. So Revati Jankiram, who's the current president, is all out to enroll as many centers, and Jayam Kannan, Sampath Kumari, Charmila Avayu, we need to take the assessment in Tamil. So these three are our champion assessors who do, like, this whole batch of 15, Jayam Kannan did the assessment just over 2 days. She spent the whole of 2 days, because it's a single person has to appear for the skill test. Each and every staff nurse has to present herself on the digital platform, demonstrate all the 10 skills properly until she's scored to a particular number. So it takes time, but we have champions who do this for us. Coming to the most recent development of e-health, which is the technology platform, which I've already said, how can we scale this better? This is all at basic levels, but we want maternal-fetal surveillance in a step-up manner. Here again, many of our champions who are here have used what we call as Baby Beat, and now it's called the Feto Mini or Feto Sense for GDM patients, for PIH patients, for elderly, for IVF pregnancies. You can't keep calling them back and forth to a center, and heavy, bulky machines are out. And this is a small handheld device. It's from the Care Mother, and we are maximizing the usage of this in Karnataka as well. Even a receptionist can be trained how to take the graph. So this pilot study, again, we have published it, just accepted for publication in Asian Journal of OBGYN as we speak, just last week, and the first copy is going to be out in the first week of May. So the assessing the utilizability, avoiding n number of in-person visits, that is the key. So they just have to download the app, apply the Baby Beat gel, place this small device anywhere on the tummy, the heartbeats are picked up, the NST, the CTG trace is available, just it goes on the Bluetooth to the doctor. Wherever she is, she can just give a thumbs up and say all is well, or she can recall the patient. One more improvement is any semi-skilled person can know whether this is a reactive or non-reactive by studying the number of green putties versus the red. There are so many greens here, so the staff herself knows that, oh, this is all, it's all doing good. There are accelerations, but one deceleration, so one red. But if she sees too many reds, she really have to catch hold and alert the team to call this patient to the center or alert the boss. So the use of this, ease of use of device, 99% of the providers and the patients themselves thought that it is very easy to use. And what you would notice here, we started the use of this by renting this out to our patients in the COVID times because we didn't want them to come back and forth. Everybody used it irrespective of their literacy or IQ. The use of electronic devices is really rampant in our country, and 271 patients who would have come back and forth twice weekly, entire visits were avoided because we already had the information about the CTG on the WhatsApp messages. Do not underestimate our rural folk. They are very wise. They know how to connect with us, and the telementoring, telemonitoring, and the video consultations are going in a big way in many rural centers in Karnataka as well. So overcoming the challenges of traditional in-person prenatal care, because this is one of these small devices, but there are other devices on the way from Israel with our association with Professor Moshe Hood. They're all non-invasive. Anybody can use it. We have Easy Check for hemoglobin now, no finger prick, just place it like a pulse oximeter. We are doing the school camps day in and day out. Though tomorrow is Ambedkar Jayanti, already 400 children are coming to one school just in order to get this test done. And even our ward boys can just place it there. It just, it's automatic record of the hemoglobin onto the system. And it's very easy to perform in any camp setting or any setting without any infrastructure. So hemoglobin can be tested, glucose can be tested, the fetal arts can be tested, and the continuous monitoring with the WISMI wristband can be done. So a lot of things. So this is first of the articles of how remote monitoring can help, but there are many more in the pipeline, and we will do it. This will totally eliminate this kind of a scenario where access, affordability, and quality of care is a challenge. And we will be able to do better and better in this country compared to any other part in the world, as how we have proved with the COVID vaccinations as well. This is because 1,130 million mobile subscriptions are there in our country. So we're encashing this mobile technology to do our best. And we acknowledge all the participating doctors in every of our innovative endeavors, whether it is Vidya Topi, Sonia Mandappa, Shobha Shairi, Anita Aki, Kasturi Donimat, Durga Das, Shantanu Patak, who has produced this device, and of course Bharti Rajshekar, who's always there for innovative techniques and methodology for us to move forward. So it has been a great experience in overcoming the challenges and doing better and better by the minute. And I can never fail nor stop appreciating the support that we've got from everybody in Kasoga and beyond to make it work and have the confidence in the new technology. Sometimes it may fail, but we have to declare that it has failed and step back. But this is the beginning of the training of the grassroots workers to reach every girl, every woman. We slowly build over this. The same Manyata centers can get into hysteroscopy training with Vidya, and then some infertility training with the experts here. And slowly we expand in a holistic and a wholesome way about how remotely, digitally, the skill transfer can be made a reality, so that the basic non-negotiable minimum quality of care is assured beyond the geographies and beyond the socio-economic constraints, and the best of care to reach every girl, every woman, every time, everywhere will be our endeavor. And we do hope that as how everybody has cooperated so far, the synergies will be at its best, and we will prove not only within India, but on the global. I'm very proudly talking about this to my FIGO colleagues whose jaws are dropping, saying that, oh, all this can happen in India. And then they're already baffled by the aggressiveness with which we want to work towards the well-being of girls and women in the country. So that is a very heartening thing. And thank you, Vidya. Though this was so basic, but still you said, no, we want to speak about it. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to, just get the spark ignited in all the others to do the best that they can every time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your brilliant deliberation. As usual, you make miracles work. I mean, I didn't know that this had so much of impact. And maybe South India, it is really scaling up for better healthcare. Now, my question, what was the major challenge, madam, you faced in all these scenarios? You have faced so many challenges, but, oh, I have to do this. I have to overcome this. What was your major challenge, madam?
No, the very fact that, when we say the index of health in any geography is the maternal and infant mortality, then, how do we work towards that? It's not by doing the higher end, complication handling, but where does it all start? So with that thought process, we just needed to audit. Do they at least know these basics? From there, when we started, it was a huge challenge to come to terms with the fact, Vidya, that really the simple things which make a big difference, we are presuming that this is being done, but it's not. Even a simple thing like a BP measure, it's a different matter. That how to correctly measure is a different thing. But most of the centers, every visit, they were not even checking the BP. The first thing, leave alone the other things. That was a major gap. Not doing the glucose challenge test was another. So similarly, many, and height, weight, BMI record, thinking nutrition first, taking one dietary recall, because there's so many simple things that they can counsel. Anybody can counsel, because we may not have the time. We really need to be busy with doing the higher end things, which we have the expertise in. There are a lot of clutter of these things which can be shifted. The task can be shifted to everybody in the team, and they should be all the pearls in a string which attaches them. They should all be doing their bit. So this was, the numbers were a challenge. Ensuring quality was a challenge, and to make sure that they recall. 3 months later, 1 year later, when we assess the center, we are having palpitations because one of our original study, we had tied up with the Kuppam Hospital, where Dr. Krishna was the head of department, where we donated to them the Mama Natale, and they had a satellite center. They had entrusted one postgraduate to do this skill training, and her publication speaks of the fact that within 3 months, the scores go down by 50%. They just forget. Whereas the digital methodology, which was a very huge discovery, emphasis, relearning, again and again repeated recalls. We are now quite convinced that you ask them 1 year later or 10 years later, the scores will again be around 80-85% for sure. So that has been our, the challenge that we have overcome. And I think though the hybrid model is good, what I would always tell all the centers who are taking the Manyata training, say we can't come there, but we are doing our best through the digital, the best we can, and they are performing well. So in your own center, once in a month or once in 3 months, you make them practice the skills under your supervision. That component you can do. That is your on-site. That is your hands-on. So that is a hybrid model. We do digital, and you all locally do the on-site. So that is that's how we are moving forward, and we're quite happy with what we're doing. I think Bharti has raised her hand up.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for answering.
And
your relentless work in this field. Thank you so much. Bharti, over to you.
Thank you,
Vidya.
Vidya.
You were one of the first hospitals in the city of Bangalore who took this, and I'm amazed at the way your staff improved, and thank you so much for the initial support as well. Bharti?
Yeah, Hema, well, words, no words fail me, and as usual, you are inspiring and your enthusiasm is infectious, but sometimes we people are resistant, we don't catch on that infection very soon, okay? So as you said, Manyata, yes, I have taken it in my center, and my girls are extremely happy, and they look up to you with so much of regards for teaching them in simple language. And I totally agree with you that this online module is sufficient if the person in the center, we sit with them, and then we have some we talk to them later on, and we interact with them in the labor room when we have a case. You have a refreshing course, when there's a labor room case, I'll just ask them, have you kept this, what are you going to do? So they are all ready, and now I sleep much better. And when when there's a case in labor, I am more at ease, because I know my girls they were doing it, but now they are doing it with more knowledge. They're doing it more systematically. And the PhytoSense also is a very big tool for us, and our patients are very happy with that when we give them this module, and they know that they're being monitored remotely. They're very happy about it. So I think every center should take up Manyata. And the other one is the HSSC skill transfer, and in that they're getting the certificate. They're extremely happy about it, and they're more and more of them want to join, more and more of them want to get into it and join and get certified and do things. So all the freshers who are coming in, we are trying to, and not only that, we are training the others with the same thing which you told. We tell the girls who have been trained, please talk to the other juniors and tell them about hand washing, tell them about AMTCL, tell them about GDM. So they are becoming teachers to the junior staff.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, this is so delightful. Thank you, Bharti. And yours was one of the best performing centers. Hats off to your commitment. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Hema.
Rajshri?
Rajshri, yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Dr. Durga Das, Dr. Bharti, Dr. Vidya, and everyone present here. All the while we are thinking of, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis and NIPTs and so many advancements which are happening nowadays around, that we forget to go back and address the grassroots and the basic levels of healthcare provision that I must really appreciate and gratitude for taking up this topic and addressing and making us realize that what best we can do at the grassroots level and improve the healthcare system in our own setup and do our limited contributions to whatever we can in the best possible ways. And extremely happy that we need to stress upon these concepts of system in the health, that all those who are key providers of health in the system should be adequately and masterly trained enough, like the consultant or the top consultant, because the failure of the system is because of the failure of the class 3 and the class 4 employers. And thank you so much for addressing this and making us realize what more we can do in this system, in our own setup and in our own ways to make it a better living.
Thank you. So that's why I said small steps, big leap. We are coming out with 8-hour courses also. It's for prescribing for excellence. That is about the soft skills and the communication and the patient coordination, from security to housekeeping to front desk to everybody in the team. We may not have the patience and actually the time also to teach them all of these, but these are so crucial, which make or break the quality in the setup. So these small initiatives, are worthwhile even from the patients and the families. They slowly, the trust is getting built more and more strong, and we will be failing our girls and women if we don't even do this much as what I constantly think. Yeah.
One point which is of real concern in most of the setups is the trained staff. They keep moving 6 months or 1 year from one center to the other center. But as I heard one of the important persons in Foxy tell, that doesn't matter even if they leave their center, at least they're trained better to serve in the next center. This is a kind of contribution from your side to the nursing staff who are leaving your center.
Sure. Yeah, and then Rajshri, the website is there, Kasogas, and then once we have this individual nurses trained and they have the certificate, we put up the whole list, and we are also planning to empower them with placements and employment. So when next anybody in Karnataka or anywhere, actually slowly it's escalating the program, you see them with the certificate from HSSC saying they're assistant to maternal and newborn care, you're happy in your mind because at least they know this much. So that is the kind of vision we're having towards this, because that's why I said if 1 million such assistants to maternal and newborn care emerge in the country, then we are sorted. They can go anywhere because they'll be available everywhere.
And moreover, because every doctor, it is impossible to stand by the patient in the obstetric care to deliver and give the best of the facility, like we see in the NHS and other developed areas in the world, that it's mostly the ANMs or the midwives or the trained persons who are handling the basic care or the obstetric care for the patients, even in the labor. And only when they can assess. And I think the success of the center would be when the nursing staff would be able to diagnose the low risk and the high risk and alert the obstetrician regarding the emergency situation.
Absolutely. I want Dr. Durga Das to tell his experience. Are your staff alerting you on time, Durga?
Yes. Good evening, madam, and good evening, everybody. I have put on the chat box just now. Today, we got the news that our hospital got NABH entry-level accreditation. And one of the main criteria is Manyata. Our staff were trained by Manyata. The real thing I am telling. First thing is the simplicity of madam. She used to come for every class. I thought after first class, I thought somebody will take the class. And our staff are amazed, like every class madam is taking. But that is one thing kept apart. Second thing, how the things are going after 3-4 months, how the things are going. We meet once in 15 days. All the staff nurses, we need to meet every once in 15 days. This has been going on since ages. Like I used to tell how to give mannitol, how to give metrogyl. Those things I used to teach at that time. But now every session I will take one of the 16 chapters. We'll have a rehearsal in that hardly 20-30 minutes of discussion. We'll have a tea break and we'll discuss. That's the thing going on. Now Manyata is the center point for us. So the advantage is just what Bharti told. The seniors are passing on the message for the juniors. The rehearsal once in 15 days, one chapter that keeps on going.
Nice.
That's what we are
Very
doing. Probably
Very
that is that has given a big boost for us, our staff, for NABH accreditation. Thank you, madam,
Very
for
nice.
all the
Very
things.
nice. See, when you were saying that every class, because Kannada language was a constraint. My own master trainers at Divakar's, Dr. Purni and Dr. Rita, they cannot speak fluent Kannada, not enough to, teach in a master training way. So I was wanting to make sure that our Kannada batches will definitely excel. So that is why I was very, very keen. Now, slowly we are grooming the next level with Sonia and other people, because the other 3-4 champions in Karnataka, I cannot involve them in the teaching because they have to be assessors. Okay, the assessors and teachers cannot be the same. So I needed that many assessors also, because Dr. Tobi and Dr. Jyoti, I cannot put Bharti also. Now I'm going to put as assessors. I cannot put them as trainers because then it's a conflict. So I cannot become an assessor because I'm training all over the country. So the English language or Hindi language, whenever that is in the picture, from one geography, the assessor can take the assessment for any other geography. Like Bihar is Hindi. So from UP also any assessor can take. So Hindi pool, we have lots. But if it's Tamil, then we have to rely only on these 3 champions, Revati. And now we are again starting to escalate the assessor pool as well as the trainers pool. So very soon, though I would love to come for every class and teach, but we wanted to scale. We wanted to have many batches through the month, and that is slowly steadily happening. So I think I will have the task shifted to the next round of champions very soon. So thank you so much for appreciating, and most importantly, your consistent effort in keeping this on. And then NABH accreditation entry level also is a great achievement. Everybody is congratulating you. So let me voice out that congratulations loud and clear. May God be with you to do better and better.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, okay, if I think Rajeshri, you will wind up as a secretary. Yeah.
Pranamams, everybody again. It's wonderful to see Dr. Hema Madam talk on any platform again and again, because every time it's like a student of the kindergarten. We sit up and listen to what new ideas and what new expressions she has about her thought process. I don't know from where she gets all this energy, the stamina, and the implementation of so many things that we are extremely grateful that in Kasoga we have such bright, brilliant leaders, and feel proud to be associated with the Kasoga organization. And day by day, after taking up my position as the secretary, I'm seeing and learning so many new things, which is a eye-opener and a mind-boggling kind of situation, because I really never got into the realms of this fact. And we have such beautiful people here who are selflessly working to do more and more and more for Kasoga. And today we emerge out as one of the stronghold contenders in the Foxy Association and International as well. Thank you so much, madam, for taking up this cause and being there and leading us and being a spearheading person in the state. And thanks to Vidya Bhatt, my friend and guide, Dr. Durgadas Asrana, for always being and gracing such occasions. And Dr. Bharti Rajshekhar, ma'am, you have left in such a big footprint, and I'm finding it difficult to cope into your shoes. And every day I'm trying to learn how to fit into the position that you have left. And I'm sure that you are there to guide us for all the...
Sometimes it is combined. Sometimes you have
I'm sure many of us are motivated enough to take up to this cause. And congratulations to the newly elected executive members, Dr. Shruti Bhavi, Dr. Shanta Shekhar and others, Dr. Suman Gaddi. And I see a good number of committee heads also. It's a good sign that all the important backbone people of the Kasoga are logging in and then taking interest in all the activities, more to do with the guidelines of all our seniors in the faculty. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining, and have a...
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
madam.
everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rajesh.
Thanks, Hema. Congratulations, Dr. Durgadas. Party kodbeku. Thank you.
ಅದ್ ಹೇಳು first.
Good start,
ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ
Rajeshri.
ಬಿಡು.
Good start. There's always a
Yeah.
beginning, and we are all there with you.
Yeah, thank you.
after team leader